Are you sailing on Carnival out of Long Beach and wondering which ship is actually worth booking? Well, you've got 3 completely different options. The party-ready Radiance, the stylish new Firenze, and the activity-packed Panorama. But here's the twist. The newest ship is actually the cheapest. And the one that feels the most luxurious, well, that's not the one that you would expect either. Only one of these ships goes to Hawaii. Now, I'm putting all 3 ships together in a head-to-head across 6 categories that every cruiser should care about, with surprises in every round. My name's Ruben, and I am not a cruise expert, but I do know how to count to 3. I think. And in this video, I am pitting 3 Carnival ships against each other. We will rank them across 6 categories that should matter to you. By the end, you will know exactly which ship is the right fit for your next vacation. And the winner just might surprise you. Now, I've combined some analytical data research with my own personal experiences across all 3 ships, and I have a shocking revelation about price. Now, let's figure out which ship you should book and which ones you shouldn't. First, let's get to know our contenders. Each one has a completely different vibe and personality. The Carnival Radiance, well, they're the seasoned pro, fresh off a massive $200 million transformation from the old Carnival Victory that was completed in 2021. It's a smaller, more intimate ship, and it's all about delivering the classic Carnival experience on shorter, budget-friendly trips. But there's a unique twist that the Radiance offers that the other 2 do not. Now, if you want a full ship tour of the Radiance, check that out here. Then there's the Carnival Firenze, the stylish new kid on the block, bringing fun Italian style to the West Coast. Originally built for Costa Cruises, this ship joined the Carnival fleet in 2024 with an Italian-themed makeover from its decor to its unique restaurant. Her sister ship, the Venezia, sails out of New York. There is one special thing that this ship has over the other 2. Now, if you want a full ship tour of the Firenze, check that out here. And finally, the Carnival Panorama, the big, bold flagship of the trio. Launched in 2019, this is actually the newest built ship of the bunch and is loaded with exclusive activities and the widest variety of features. Built for anyone who wants built for anyone who wants non-stop action. Plus, it has one thing that no other cruise ship in the world offers. If you want a full ship tour of the Panorama, well, check that out here. So, what are the 6 categories I will be ranking on the ships? Well, you've got dining, from free grub to the specialty spots. Onboard activities and entertainment. What is there to do all day and night? Cabins and accommodations. How comfy and stylish are the rooms? Ship layout and crowd. How does the ship flow and how does it feel when it's packed? Itineraries, ports, and length of sailing. Price. So what does a cruise on each of these ships actually cost? Now, before we continue, I would appreciate if you smash that subscribe button and turn on notifications if this video has already been entertaining and maybe a little helpful so far. That way, you will not miss out on more Carnival-related content, reviews, and tips. Now, let the battle begin. Category 1, dining. Each ship has something unique the other 2 don't have, so the winner wasn't easy to pick. It's either the Radiance, Firenze, or Panorama. Let's dive into the category that can make or break a cruise, the food. Coming in 3rd for dining is the Carnival Radiance. Now, don't get me wrong, the food is solid. The Radiance serves up Carnival classics that everyone loves. They have Guy's Burger Joint, Blue Iguana Cantina, but its secret weapon is Shaq's Big Chicken, the fried chicken restaurant. These sandwiches and tenders get fantastic reviews for being crispy and flavorful. And of course, the fries, oh my gosh, incredible. Plus, neither of the other 2 ships have this. They also have a great breakfast with these chicken breakfast sandwiches. The Radiance's main drawback is variety, as it has less overall food options and definitely less specialty dining options than the other two. Coming in at second place, we have the Carnival Firenze. This ship goes all in on its Italian theme. You will find unique spots that the other ships don't have, like the upscale Il Viaggio for a fancier Italian dinner than Cucina del Capitano, and Pomodoro for an interesting Italian-Mexican fusion that's similar to Blue Iguana. These give it a flavor you will not find on the other ships. Now, it keeps some crowd pleasers like the pizza and Guy's Burgers, but it swaps other Carnival mainstays like Shaq's Big Chicken for a generic chicken shack. Now, some people love the Italian-Mexican fusion, but I personally wasn't a big fan. Overall, the food is still better than the Radiance. And the winner for best dining is the Carnival Panorama. Now, the Panorama simply has it all. It boasts almost every popular Carnival venue, including Guy's Pig and Anchor Smokehouse Brewhouse, which is unique among all three ships because it serves not only amazing barbecue for free and specialty dining, but it comes with it comes with beer but there is a brew house where you can get fresh brewed beer on board. It also features Fahrenheit 555 Steakhouse and Bonsai Teppanyaki. Now, this covers just about every craving you can have. In addition, you can find Gigi's Asian Kitchen, which neither of the other two have. The one thing the Panorama does not have is a Shaq's Big Chicken or Chicken Shack. That was actually pretty disappointing for me. Now, with the sheer number of both free and extra fee options, the Panorama makes it easy to eat somewhere new every night and definitely takes the crown for variety and exclusives. Category 2. Onboard activities and entertainment. One of these ships has an activity that no other cruise ship in the entire world has. Plus, you'll be shocked how I flipped the table on the rankings. What is there to do when you're not stuffing your face with food? Well, there's activities. And interestingly enough, all three cruise ships did share a lot of the same activities. All of them had an atrium lounge and bar where you have different parties and events. They all have an assortment of bars and lounges. They all have a Lido deck. They all have a casino. They all have mini golf, a basketball court, a running track, ropes course, Serenity Lounge for 21 and up, pools, jacuzzis, a water park, the Cloud9 Spa, and of course, tons of lounge chairs up on the Lido deck to get your sun on. They all have the Punchliner Comedy Club and Playlist Productions, as well as other entertaining shows. Now, in third place for activities is the Carnival Radiance. Now, even though this ship was recently refurbished, it is still the smallest by far, and because of that, it has less in terms of splashy new features. Now, I don't mean the water park because it still has 2 water slides, but as a smaller ship, there are just overall less things to do, see, and enjoy, especially compared to the Panorama, which we'll get back to.
Awesome. Make sure you subscribe.
Now, one thing the Radiance does have is more and better Lido space than the Firenze. And it is perfect for a classic Carnival fun cruise, especially if your idea of entertainment is a good adult beverage. Now, tied for third place is actually the Carnival Firenze. What the Carnival Firenze might lack in huge one-of-a-kind attractions, it makes up for with a fun Italian-style vibe. It has everything that the Radiance has, with a few more things that give you a few more options of entertainment, but there's really nothing that makes the Firenze stand out over the Radiance in terms of entertainment. Without a second place contender, the undisputed champion of fun is the Carnival Panorama. This ship was built for fun. Its game-changing exclusive feature is the Sky Zone, the only cruise ship in the world with a floating trampoline park at sea. That alone puts it in a new league. The Panorama is also the only Long Beach Carnival ship with an electronic poker table, and I love that. The Panorama also has more bars than the other two. Plus, there is Skyride, a pedal-powered ride above the ship. They also have a larger water park in addition to mini golf, basketball, and everything else the other ships have. For families, thrill seekers, or anyone who wants the most options, Panorama is the obvious winner. Category 3, cabins and accommodations. You'll be shocked at what I put as number 1. And even though it came in at number 3, this ship has something the other two ships don't have. Now, is it the Radiance, Firenze, or Panorama? Let's find out. Now, every great vacation needs a great home base. So let's talk about cabins. No matter which cabin you get, they all have at least 2 twin beds that can usually be pushed together to make a king-size bed.
So I went with 2 beds. You can do a single bed or a double bed.
Some cabins, but not all of them, also have fold-down bunk beds and a couch that can be converted to a bed. Some cabins can fit up to 5 people. Pro tip, if you are a family or group of friends trying to cram as many people as you can, think twice and do some math.
I thought I had more space!
On one sailing, it ended up being cheaper to get 2 cabins with 2 people per room than to try to shove 4 people into the same cabin.
There's a safe, there's some drawers. A perk is, especially for mothers that I love, is that they do have a little mini fridge. I put my little wellness shots. So this would be wonderful and great, especially for mothers who are nursing and need to pump. We are more eco-friendly in the room. So you have this key that helps control the lights. So if you give it like 2 minutes without movement, the lights are going to turn off, but my mother's in here. So, oh, this light right here, I don't know if you have this in your room, but this light right here is motion activated, which if you walk past this or near this in the middle of the night, it will turn on so that you can see and not trip over all my stuff while walking to the bathroom.
Taking the number 3 spot is the Carnival Radiance. After a massive refurbishment, all the cabins were modernized and are clean and comfortable. But because it's an older, smaller ship, you do have fewer cabin choices. And the decor is still a little dated, at least when compared to the other two. There are not as many suites, and there are no specialty cabins like a Terraza, Havana, or Family Harbor. The only exception is that they do have Cloud9 spa cabins. So while the standard cabins are perfectly fine, you just do not get the variety and latest layouts. The one thing that the Carnival Radiance can boast of is that they have bedside lamps with USB plugs and a USB and power socket above the bed. However, this is only cabins on decks 2 and 5. Coming in at a surprising second is the Carnival Panorama. As the newest built ship, the Panorama has Carnival's most modern cabins with a fresher feel and update. But where it really wins is variety. It offers the widest range of cabins, including the Havana cabins, which give you exclusive access to the Havana area. These exclusive access areas have a private Havana pool area, a gorgeous, less crowded oasis at the stern of the ship. The Panorama is also the only ship that has this ship within a ship concept that stays that way 24/7, unlike the Firenze that only has daytime exclusivity on the Terraza area. And the Radiance doesn't have this at all. Additionally, there are more cabin style options overall and is the only ship with Family Harbor cabins. If you want to check out all of the Carnival Panorama cabin types that are available, check out this video. However, even though the Panorama has a wider variety of cabin styles to choose from, overall, I think the Carnival Firenze is better because their cabins just feel so much nicer. As a former Casa ship, the Firenze's rooms have a unique Italian touch in their decor. They feel so much more upscale than even the newer Panorama. And if you know where to look, if you book these special cabins, you get a free couch upgrade. If you're curious about that, check out this video to find out, but only if you promise not to tell anyone else. Category 4, ship layout and crowd. In this case, size does matter, and the winner definitely had the biggest Lido. I do know how to get around a ship and usually not get lost, and that's an important question. Just like the cabins, a ship's design can make or break your vacation. How easy it is to get around, and are you constantly stuck in a crowd? In third place is the Carnival Firenze. While it is a beautiful ship, its layout, a holdover from the Costa days, has some quirks. The two most common complaints center around the Lido deck, which feels really small and cramped. There are also a lot of reports that the retractable Lido roof stays closed more often than it should. However, that can also be a blessing in disguise, especially when it's cold and windy and you get to feel outside while still staying warm. Coming in at number 2 is the Carnival Radiance. Its refurbishment did wonders for the ship's flow, but being the smallest of the three also means that it can feel crowded sometimes, especially on the popular 3 and 4 night party cruises. Although, because it is a smaller ship with less people overall, the lines do not get nearly as long as they do on the other two ships. The layout on the Radiance is more confusing than the other two ships, even though they kind of have similar layouts where a lot of the stuff is in the middle or on the top of the ship. The Firenze and Panorama are larger, and because of this, there are less dead ends where you just find yourself stuck going nowhere. The other benefit of being smaller is that everything is either on deck 5 or deck 9. Go to either deck and you can basically run into or find anything. Now, the winner for the layout is the Carnival Panorama. As a Vista class ship, it does have a similar layout to the Firenze and also other Vista ships sailing elsewhere. There are more open areas and spaces for people to flow and gather, especially the huge 3-story Lido area on top. In this case, size does matter, and the Panorama's Lido is just way bigger than the other two. However, as a big ship, it definitely can get and feel crowded, and you can find long lines in many places. One trick for this is know when to go. If you avoid places at peak hours, you will find less line. Category 5, destinations and itineraries. Because only one of these ships goes to Hawaii. This was really hard to judge, and it was almost a 3-way tie. However, I figured it out and named a winner. Now, is it the Radiance, Firenze, or Panorama? Let's find out. That is important because the Radiance has the most options for length of sailing. Only expert cruisers will know enough to understand why I picked this ship for number 1. But what about the destinations, itineraries, and length of cruise? First of all, note that these itineraries are subject to change at any time. So just know that I do my best with the research that I can. But this is not my full-time job, so I do not know everything. So just know, this video is more for entertainment and hopefully you will get educated, but make sure you fact check me. Now let's start with the Radiance, because it has the most options for length of sailing at 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, and the longest at 14-night journey cruises. The Firenze has 4 options at 3, 4, 5, and 6-night sailings. The Panorama. Coming in third is the Carnival Panorama. You only have 3 options for a 6, 7, or 8-night cruise, and they all go to the Mexican Riviera, with Ensenada, Cabo, Mazatlan, and Puerto Vallarta as options on sailing. Our runner-up is the Carnival Firenze. It offers a fantastic middle ground with 3, 4, 5, and 6-night sailings going to the Mexican Riviera. or a combo of Ensenada and Catalina Island. Of the Mexican cities, Ensenada is definitely the weakest of the bunch and is more like a glorified Tijuana. But it is nice to have options to choose from, especially depending on your budget, which we will talk about next. But first, the clear winner for destinations and itineraries, well, it's surprisingly the Carnival Radiance. This ship is the king, with by far the most options at 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, and 14 night journey cruises. This ship goes everywhere that the Firenze and Panorama go, but also adds in Hawaii. So if you want to go to Hawaii, this is the only ship that will take you there, and the other two don't go. Now that you know this secret gem, check out this playlist with more info on planning your first Carnival cruise. Category 6, price. I was shocked with which ship was actually the cheapest. Now, is it the Radiance, Firenze, or Panorama? Let's find out. Now, with the help of Gangway's website's data, I crunched a bunch of numbers to find something really interesting that actually shocked me. According to the numbers, the lowest average price for the entire cruise was the Firenze. Part of this is because of the sailing lengths that are offered, and this only applies to inside cabins, ocean view, and balconies. Suites on the Firenze were surprisingly the most expensive out of all three on average. Now, this really shocked and surprised me, because I would have thought that the older and smaller Radiance would have been cheaper, which actually is true in reality as opposed to theory and in average. This is because if you look at the absolute rock bottom cheapest price, you will find that on the Radiance. It is just that when you look at an average, the Firenze is slightly better. Now, if you love your balcony cabins, the Firenze had the lowest average price of balconies across all three ships. The other thing that really shocked me was that if you compare a 6-day cruise across all three ships, the newest Panorama ship was actually the cheapest. The average price per day on the Radiance for an interior cabin was $112. On the Radiance, it goes down to $94. And on the Panorama, it's only $91 per day. Oh my gosh, that's crazy. However, because Panorama sailings are mostly longer than the Firenze, the overall average price is going to be more on the Panorama versus the Firenze. But if you are looking at the same length of cruise, the Panorama is the least expensive. And all three ships offer a 6-day cruise. The final countdown.
It's the final countdown.
Wait, the final verdict. So, what about the bottom line? Which ship gives you the most bang for your buck and the best destination? Which ship is the best? After 6 rounds, who's the champion? Well, let's tally up the score. The Carnival Radiance won for lowest price, best crowds, and itinerary. The Firenze won for lowest average price and cabin. The Panorama won for best price per night, food, and entertainment. Now, before I crown the winner, I do want to say that each ship has unique perks and features, so you actually might want to sail on any or all three of them. So, while there isn't a right ship for everyone, the Carnival Firenze is the perfect pick if you have sailed on Carnival before and want to try something fresh and different. Its Italian theme and specialty dining offer a new twist on the classic formula. And the Carnival Radiance is the absolute champion for anyone on a tight budget or looking for a quick weekend party cruise, or you want a more intimate vibe in smaller crowds. Ultimately, the best ship is what fits what you are looking for. But if you want my recommendation and you know that you are going to love cruising, especially on Carnival, I would try out the Radiance first to get your feet wet and try it out. Then try the Firenze, and finally the Panorama. That's what I did, and I'm totally glad that I made that progression. Now, based on my scorecard, I actually have a tie between the Firenze and Panorama. But because it's an overall better value, the Panorama is my pick for overall best ship. What's your ranking? Let me know in the comments below, and then check out this playlist with ship tours of all three.